So you already know how I felt about the first episode of One Punch Man Season 3. But then I was like, you know what, let's dive deeper into this. So I turned my computer on and I started researching. I went through the anime episode again slowly, and I also went through some manga panels. And lo and behold, come to find out that they cut one of the only action scenes that we could have seen to evaluate how the animation is going to be in the upcoming episodes. So let me go over that with you guys right now. So this is the scene that I'm talking about. When we had the whole mercenary group get captured by the Monster Association, it was supposed to introduce a new villain to us, which was the Royal Ripper. So when they're deciding on what to do with the humans, we see these fodder monsters try to go and eat the humans. And then Royal Ripper comes in and slices the head in half, and then continues, as you can see on the screen, to do his whole slicing motion, whatever, cut and slice and dice all the monsters that were trying to attack the humans. And that's how we get introduced. It says Royal Ripper, threat level demon. And judging by the looks of it, it looks like a pretty cool panel. I feel like if they would have included this, it would have given us a hint of what to expect in the coming episodes at least. And some people were saying that it's just expositions in the first episode. There's a lot of them, but there is a fight scene which they could have included. And it's such a small one too. It wouldn't have cost them a whole amount of budget or what. Yeah, you could say they're saving up the budget for better fights, but then it also is a worrisome thought. Because if they're doing it right at the first episode on where they're supposed to get the watcher's attention, then what else can they cut in the future? And what else will they cut in the future? Mind you, they did introduce him in the anime as well, but let me show you the slide PowerPoint thing that they used to introduce him. See, like, come on, we could have had such a nice introduction for this villain, but they decided to go the lazy route. It is what it is. Just wanted to show you guys that. Also, after he slices and dices the fodder monsters, he actually has a little bit of confrontation with the lady with the whip. And that's why in the anime it looks so weird, because she was holding something. Like right over here, let me show you guys. See, look at that. She's holding the whip, but what is she holding it for? When you actually go to the manga panel, you can actually see that Royal Ripper was about to kill the humans, but a whip stops his sword. You can actually see that it's the whip lady that actually stopped Royal Ripper's sword. And this is the exact panel that they decided to animate, excluding the Ripper. So that's why it didn't flow well. Like, what is she even grabbing on, right? You get confused in the anime. Like over here, it makes no sense. She's struggling to grab onto something, but she really didn't hit anything. Then again, I'm not a producer, I'm not a director. I don't know how they pace all this, but they could have just cut out some of the talking parts. Like when they were in the room, it wasn't really that important when everybody was gathered and talking. They could have cut out some of that and just included at least one of this action scene, just to show us what we could expect in the future. Even though the talking animation is bad, here, look at this, guys. We have a little sample of how the fights are going to be, so just, you know, have hope with us. Could have been like that type of scenario. And it's actually the Ripper who calls out to Garo, like, come out, I sense one more human. And that's when Garo comes out and steps out. So it feels like to me that they tried to remove any traces of the Ripper to not having to open that can of worms, so that they could avoid animating anything related to that. But anyways, enough of this scene. Then they decided to double down, and when Garo is walking out, you can see in this animation shot how lazy of a job they did. There's literally copy and paste monsters everywhere. There's this 2 antenna one at 5 different spots, literally copy and paste. And then this blue one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different spots. Like, that's just a little bit lazy now. And this one I found on Reddit, so shout out to user SSFTS. They're the ones that pointed it out. And it just shows the amount of low effort that they put in this specific episode, at least for now. And over here in this scene, we see it again, like the TV duplicated, the little skull duplicated again over here. Y'all get the point. I'm not going to spend too much time on these little monsters. Also, there's also a cutscene that's over here, just for you guys' information. When Orochi is standing behind Garo, it's actually supposed to show a cool-ass bird's eye view shot from the top. And this is how that would have looked if they did put it in the show. The one on the left. That one I really don't care about. It was just to let you guys know, to inform you guys, since we're talking about all the cut content. But even that plays into the fact that they chose the easier shot and to cut corners. Would the bird eye view shot have looked much better? Yes, but it also would have been much more effort to animate that one because it looks more detailed. And then again, guys, I do want to make it clear, it's not about cut content, it's about them positioning the cut content and pacing everything together properly so it flows and it actually gives us something to hope for and something to look forward to, and not just talking with still animation, still images like a PowerPoint slide. But that being said, I'm still being positive. I'm still hoping that they will improve the animations in the upcoming episodes, and especially in the fight scenes, because that's what mattered the most, and prevent this season from being a complete disaster. But anyways, fingers crossed. Also, I do want to reiterate that I do love One Punch Man, and that is why I want to make these videos, just to give you guys some information. And in no way, shape, or form am I saying that the whole anime season is going to be a letdown. I'm just saying that up until now, the first episode was definitely a letdown, and hopefully I'm on that train of hoping that it gets better, because I would love to see it get better, because I believe it definitely deserves that treatment. But that being said, it's still important to give constructive criticism where you can, and that's all I want to do with these videos. Because to be honest, it's fun to have this open floor discussion, debates, these talks with you all. Because at the end of the day, you and I both, we all want what's best for One Punch Man. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments below. I love to hear it, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.